Hey everyone, welcome back to my Elevate channel here on YouTube. This is your go-to rescue for entrepreneurship and personal growth in the life insurance space. So if you're passionate about just leveling up in business and in life, you're in the right place. And today we're going to be tackling this crucial topic. When do you know it's time to move on in business and relationships? And business relationships, all of it. Sometimes we're going through things, it can become tough, but sometimes you just have to go through rough patches in business relationships, in business, or in just your personal relationships. And it's worth the fight. It's worth it to tough it out, figure it out, right? But then in some cases, this is actually a sign that you need to move on. So we're going to be breaking that down a little bit more today. So let's dive in, shall we? All right, so I want you to go ahead and grab your notebook so that we can dive in. So first things first, number one, what you want to do is recognize the signs. Sometimes we'll be going through things and we're like, I just need a sign to let me know if it's time to take this opportunity, or a sign to let me know that I should let go of this situation. So we want to start to read those situations better. These are some things you can look for when it comes to recognizing the signs. Number one, a lack of passion. If you are just waking up and dreading to do this thing, or you're just feeling very indifferent about it, that's certainly a red flag, because the things that we are drawn to, we have some passion for, willing to wake up early to do it, to get it done, even if we don't feel like it. Those are green flags. But if you lack that passion or you're just indifferent, certainly a red flag. That could be something you need to pay attention to for sure. Also, stagnation. Are you feeling stuck in the same place where growth seems to not be happening at all? It's actually essential for business and in relationships. We have to be growing. Now, this is a big one. Number 3. Okay, so just to recap, number 1 was a lack of passion. Number 2 was stagnation. Now, number 3 is a toxic environment. And we all know what it feels like to be in a toxic environment. I hate that we all know that. But, we live in a world of duality. So experiencing negativity or bad helps us to appreciate and recognize good and positivity. However, if negativity is surrounding you, it may be time to really reassess things, because that is a toxic environment. And then finally, number 4, opportunity cost. Think about what you might be missing out on. Are there better opportunities waiting for you? Now, we definitely make sacrifices for things that we're passionate about, and they're working for us. So really consider, is this thing that we're missing out on and sacrificing worth the rewards for the thing that we are working on? Okay, you have to assess that for yourself. So if you realize that opportunity cost, it's not even worth it, you definitely need to reassess, and that can be a critical sign. So by acknowledging these signs, it's the first steps that we can move towards the change that's necessary. So recognize the signs so that we can move towards those steps to make a change. Now, this would be the second part of really figuring this out. So here's where you want to really evaluate your options. Now, what I mean by that, let me break that down. Number 1, you want to reflect. Just think about what you truly want. Have you taken the time to allow yourself to just dream and think and daydream? Give yourself 30 minutes a day at least. That's what's recommended in the self-confidence formula by Napoleon Hill. That's been one of the key things that has changed my life and taken my self-confidence through the roof. Even in times where I feel shaky or nervous, I can always go back to the self-confidence formula, and it definitely builds me up. But one of the things that's recommended is that we take at least 30 minutes a day thinking of the person that we intend to become. So really reflect on the things that you desire and write it down or take notes. Now, it is said that it's much stronger when you take the time to physically write it. It's almost like etching it in your brain, in your heart. But if all you can do is type it, just make a record of the things you truly desire, because it's time to evaluate your options. Now, what you also want to do is seek feedback. Now, think of people that you trust and perhaps have already accomplished some of the things that you desire. So you don't want to go to someone who is negative or that you don't know very well, but you definitely want to go to someone who is credentialed or you really, really trust their advice because they are wise. But just, talk to a trusted mentor or friend or even family member for insights. But again, this needs to be someone who has proven that they have a track record of some level of success. Okay, also, you want to assess the risks. What I mean by that is just really weigh out the pros and cons. If you're really evaluating what's going on and you want to evaluate your options, look at, okay, well, what would be the upside or the pros to me doing this thing? And then what would be the downside, the cons to me doing this thing? And really evaluate, see how it looks on paper. Because once you see it in black and white, so to speak, that can really illuminate the whole situation. And sometimes that's all you need to do. And that can help you make a clear decision. And then finally, which is it makes so much sense. It's the natural next step. What you want to do is create a plan. So if you do choose to move on, you have to develop a clear roadmap. And if you decide to stay where you are, you have to develop a clear roadmap for that. So that, again, you continue to grow in this area. So make sure you're evaluating your options. All right, so once you've done that, now it's time to take action. And this is where I really get excited because we don't have to stay stuck in any situation. Listen, we are still here, so that means it's an opportunity to change. So let's discuss taking action. Now, here's how to break through the barriers. Number one, start small. You've already created your plan, so take small steps towards that. Don't try to make your goal too large. They say, how do you eat an elephant? Which is just kind of a crass thing to say, but it is a known colloquialism. How do you eat an elephant? And we know that an elephant is a large animal, one bite at a time. So, perhaps a better way to say it is one day at a time, one step at a time. Even with financial goals, you might have a goal of saving $20,000 for a business or an investment or a property or something like that. So that can seem like a really, really large task if you can't just immediately put your hands on $20,000. But if you think about it like, okay, over the next 6 months, every week, I'm going to save $50. Now that's a smaller step to get towards the bigger goal. So whatever that looks like for you, start small, okay? Then also you have to stay committed. Change will be uncomfortable because our brains and our bodies have gotten into a certain routine, and our brain, when we start to change things, will trigger us and it wants to go back into comfort. Our brain is there to protect us. So when we start doing things differently, it sends out these alerts, and it's like cortisol and stress, like alert, alert. No. Go back to how you were doing it. This is uncomfortable. This is unknown. So you have to be willing to be uncomfortable and go against your own brain sometimes so that you can stay committed to what you said you would do going forward. And you want to have reminders of this. So you can put actual electronic reminders in your phone. You can write it in your space that you're going to see every day, whether it's your desk area, whether it's your mirror, your closet, even on your refrigerator, wherever you can put reminders. So your reminders can be in your devices or written out in spaces in your home that you're going to use. Also, you want to celebrate your milestones. So let's say you have a 6-month plan, a year plan, a 2-year, 5-year, 10-year plan, whatever it is. Create some milestones along the way. So once you reach it, you have a reward in mind or some sort of celebration. And it does not have to be costly at all. It could be something super simple. If you're a person that likes ice cream, and let's say you have maybe even a fitness or wellness goal. It's like, okay, I've been doing great on my wellness and fitness journey for the last 6 weeks. That might be a long stretch of time, but let's say it's been for 6 weeks. So on that 6th week, I'm going to have a treat. This is just an example. I'm not telling you to do it this way. Just an example of how you can treat yourself and celebrate those milestones. It could be something totally different. Figure out what that is for you and what that would look like. But you definitely want to celebrate and then embrace uncertainty. Listen, everything that we see now comes out of darkness. Creativity comes out of darkness. That's how all of this was created. It started as a thought in the mind of God. That is my belief. I understand that you may or may not believe that. But let's say even if all of this came out of evolution, right? It had to start from somewhere, from something. And I do believe that everything comes out of nothing. First, it's a nothing or an empty potential void, which is known as uncertainty or perhaps darkness or unseen. It's like there's nothing, and then all of a sudden something births out of that. So my point is that knowing that everything comes from a somewhat void or what seems like a void to us, we have to embrace the uncertainty. We have to embrace not always knowing what the next step is going to look like or how it's going to feel. And that's okay, because remember, it's one step at a time. So just understand that there will be uncertainty on your journey as a part of growth, and it's okay. Just embrace it. Now, finally, I would say this will round out our signs and figuring out if it's time to move on. Listen, learn from experience. I'm sure there's been a time in the past where all these things were in place, all the signs were there. Maybe you stayed too long. Maybe you moved on, with the quickness or in a timely fashion. But you can actually learn from those experiences. Don't let your past experiences hold you hostage to where now everything is a problem or you don't trust anything or anybody. But you can certainly glean the wisdom that you learned, hopefully, from those past experiences. So just reflect on your journey. Think about what worked, what didn't work, and use the insights on your next steps. You can use what worked potentially, right? So just think about it. Also, you want to stay open-minded. Our mentality in something like this is so important. Every ending has a new beginning. So if this is time to move on and it's time for you to go into the unknown and embark on a new journey, not knowing exactly what it's going to look like, and you're embracing the uncertainty, just know that this is a new beginning for you. And it's like a blank canvas, an opportunity for you to rewrite your destiny. So, that's exciting. So, embrace that. And then, of course, build resilience. I have to say, and it's so interesting that this is coming up because in service today, it was all about resilience. And so we have resilience in our DNA. The fact that we're even here, the fact that we are human beings and having this experience shows that we have resilience. We've been able to make it all the way to this point. We made it from the point of non-existence in the physical realm to being fully existent here, which I believe we are spirits. So we have a spiritual component. We're also physical, emotional, mental, right? So mind, body, and soul is how some people put it. That's incredible alone. So we are very resilient people. All of us have gone through something. Everyone has a story to tell, some sort of struggle that they've overcome so far. Many have overcome several struggles and might be going through it right now as well. Most of us are in one way or another. So my point is that you're already resilient. Just lean into it. It's also a good idea to write down some of the things that you experienced before that you overcame. So this will remind you of just how resilient you are, so you know how strong you are, to prepare you for your current challenges and future challenges. So know that you are resilient. You got this. So in closing, I just want you to remember that moving on is not a sign of failure. Could it be a failure? Maybe, but I think that we fail multiple times on our way to success anyway. So it's not about leaning into this being a failure. Moving on, it's just a part of growth and fulfillment. Just trust your instincts and don't hesitate to make the change that you really need in your own life. It's okay. Now, if you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe, like the channel, do all the things. And I'd love to hear your own personal story. So please leave in the comments a time that you realized that it was time to move on. You saw all the signs, you knew what you had to do, you did it, and it was the best thing that ever happened in your life. And I have a big announcement coming soon about a major move and change that's coming in my life as well. So I can't wait to share that. That'll be a few months down the road. But since we're having this conversation, I'll definitely share it. But I want to hear yours. So I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.